We have to do the fun parts, otherwise I'm gonna start crying. All right, we are going to name our cafe after Phyllis Stokke.
Oh, no way.
And we are going to name our gift shop after Marilyn and McGinley. Now let me tell you why. A few weeks ago, I mean, this has been in the works for a long time. Hang on, I have to get a... We'll start with Phyllis. A few weeks ago, Jim, Phyllis's husband, and I were grilling 300 hamburgers at the Methodist Church for their Saturday evening gift meal. And I was very sneaky, and I asked Jim all about Phyllis's life so that I would have one or two. So I'm repeating what Jim told me. I wrote it all down, and if there's anything wrong, it's Jim's fault.
You may be in trouble.
All right. Phyllis has done so much for healthcare in the community of Williston. She first started at Good Samaritan, the other hospital. She was there for 10 years. She was influential in bringing the last patients from Good Sam to this New Mercy Hospital when it opened 50 years ago. And I want to read you from my little history book how that actually looked according to our historian. It's right. April 24th, 1974, the transfer of patients into the New Mercy Hospital took place. It began with moving patients from the obstetrics department at Good Samaritan, followed by patients from the Old Mercy Hospital. 28 patients were moved by ambulance, 12 were brought in by limousine. Ambulance crews from Culbertson and Ray came to contribute their services to their efforts. Now, Phyllis was right there. Were you in the ambulance or the limousine?
I don't know. I remember that. I remember taking the last patient out, but I don't remember.
So she helped that. Then she came in and she worked in this hospital, and she worked in healthcare for 50 years.
Wow.
For Williston. She retired from the hospital in 2013, which is the same year that Father Eit retired from being the chaplain here in this hospital. So you picked a good year. According to Jim, they've been married 62 years. They have 2 children. They lived in the same home those 62 years in Williston. Jim told me he's 89. We're not going to ask Phyllis how old she is.
I'm younger.
Good. In terms of her continuing contributions, so even after she put in 50 years in healthcare, she's the president of our auxiliary right now. She's a member of Mercy's Community Board, which is a board made up of people in the community. She's a member of PFAC, which is the Patient and Family Advisory Council. She is a member of our Patient Quality Committee. Every Friday, she sits in the gift shop and welcomes people in as a volunteer. She's active in the local Lions Club. I get dizzy watching her zip around this community. She's everywhere, literally everywhere, doing everything for this community. Endless energy, endless good that she has not slowed down. So thank you for all you've done for Williston, for this hospital, and you continue to do it. Okay.
My second home.
Now we're going to talk about Marilyn. I have to pull up my phone here. It's doing something it's never done before. Yeah. There we go. All right. I didn't have the pleasure of interviewing Marilyn's spouse, John, so I had to go to her son, Mark. And so here are some of Marilyn's highlights of what she's done in this community. She served on the State Rehab Hospital Board for many years. She served on Wilmac Board, a 3-county consortium that handled education among the handicapped. She was the chair of Cardiac Capers, and I have something else I'm going to read. We're going to come back to that in a second. She pushed for and coordinated adult education learning in the city. She's 36 years on the board of the Miss North Dakota Scholarship Competition, bringing it here to this community, and many of those years as a president. Many years putting together school tours, coordinating with middle and high school students, allowing Miss North Dakota each year to present platforms in schools and educate kids, develop self-confidence in speaking in front of any group. Marilyn still runs our gift shop, and I will tell you that recently we had a 90th birthday for her. So, and I'm not supposed to say ages, but that one actually no, because we had a party. She still runs the gift shop. The gift shop recently donated $10,000 to the hospital for a hospital bed. They both work in the auxiliary. The auxiliary recently gave 6 bassinets to the hospital, $3,000 a piece, that's $18,000. They're constantly raising money, doing these wonderful things. And Marilyn, in her delight, her talents of raising money, so going back to my history book, I'm going to read to you about these cardiac capers from the 1980s. And I did ask her some sneaky questions yesterday, so I found out she did this for, it was every other year throughout the 80s, and each time they would do this, they would raise between $10,000 and $20,000. That's a lot of money for an annual event, and that money would go for equipment in our ICU. So here's how a historian wrote about that. Mercy Medical Auxiliary sponsored the very popular Cardiac Capers fundraiser in October 1988, and those other years as well. A very entertaining musical review raised over $10,500 that year to purchase cardiac equipment for the ICU. The tremendous success was attested by the fact that numbers of people had to be turned away from the final performance. You could even get a seat. And there's a picture of Marilyn 40 years ago. She's even lovelier now. All right, you can see the massive amount of contribution they have provided to this community all over. I got them both a little sunflower gift. I wanted it to have some symbolism. In the summer, sunflowers blanket North Dakota, and everyone who sees sunflowers is instantly filled with joy. These two women blanket North Dakota with their influence and their goodness, and anyone who sees them is immediately filled with joy. So the perfect thing. Now, how the naming is going to work, I wanted this to be a surprise, so we didn't. I hope you're both surprised. I worked really hard on keeping this a secret. All right. We are going to send a survey to all of our hospital staff and ask them to come up with different names for these two spaces, and then they'll get to pick the name that they want that space to be. So I've already heard of 2 names, as just a few of us have known about this. So for example, 2 ideas for the gift shop are Marilyn's Market or Marilyn's Mercantile. For Phyllis, we could have Phyllis's Fine Foods or whatever. We'll let the staff come up with lots of fun ideas. We'll let them pick. You'll notice that this hallway has, it's the old look, not like the new look down there. Part of keeping this last is that we're going to put some lovely extra wood molding here around the front of the chapel to make it look more like a church front. We'll make it really beautiful. That's part of the design. We'll do something that incorporates these namings in the front. We'll have a new lobby that's lovely, that really invites people into the hospital. Okay? Thank you so much for both of you.
Thank you.